Hey y'all, and welcome to Skyrim Scripting. On this episode, I'm going to show you how you can use global variable values in your conditionals. It's a really good use case for global variables, which we covered last time, and the time before that I think we covered conditional magic effects. So I figured we could kind of tie it all together. So I just finished that last episode a minute ago, and I've only had a second to think about what we're going to do. I only thought of like the dumbest thing in the world. Let's have a magic effect that we'll use whenever the player picks up an item, which is something we've done before. We will store the identifier for the item in a global variable. We could store it other ways, but we'll use a global variable for that because they're both integers. And if it's a potion, then we'll store it. And when a potion is selected in a global variable, we'll apply an active magical effect, which makes the player drink the potion every couple seconds. So if you pick up a health potion, your player will drink a new health potion every couple seconds. I don't know. Just want to tie together a bunch of stuff. It's dumb, but let's make it and see how quickly we can do it. Here we are. I should have come up with a name for this thing. Let's call it, I'm going to want SKSE64, maybe? I'll turn it off for now. Auto potion. Auto potion. It's like auto last potion, because you can't choose a potion. It's just going to be the last potion that you pick up. Because why not? I don't know. We'll tell CreationKit to save all of its files in the auto potion mod. We'll kick it on off. And we will save our mod. We'll save it as auto potion. Cool. We'll save it. Let's start with a player script that can detect all of the items that get picked up. Or let's make the global. So miscellaneous global, and we'll call this, make it a long integer, and we'll call it auto potion last potion ID. It's an ID because it's going to use an integer. There's other ways we can do this and keep a reference to the actual potion, but whatever. And then we'll make a quest in character quest. Call this auto potion quest. I need suggestions for episodes so I don't make this dumb stuff. But this is the last episode I'm recording today. I've recorded this series from start to finish so far today. So suggest other episodes. I'm going to switch to recording a different mod right after this video. So suggest what you want to see next. So auto potion quest, let's make a quest alias, which we did before, to track when you pick something up. So new reference alias, this will be player ref, that's REF, fill type, specific reference, select forced reference, sell any, and it'll pre-populate the player, and that's good for now. Let's attach a script to them, and I'll call it like a auto potion player script. And it will extend a reference alias as we did previously. And I'll hit OK. So now we've got that. We've got the variable that will track the last potion that we picked up. We're using a global for that just to demonstrate, especially because globals are useful in conditionals. We've got the thing that'll track what got last picked up. Let's make an active magical effect that will drink the potion. So magical effect, new, call it auto potion effect. Just call it auto potion effect. We'll make this a constant effect. So long as the last thing that we picked up was a potion, it'll constantly kick in. If you pick up something that's not a potion, it'll turn off. That's our toggle. Cool. And don't select a magic skill, so just hit OK. We can reopen that and we'll make our script that will do the potion auto drinking. We'll call this auto potion effect script. And We'll hit OK. I'm going to save. Look at all of our auto potion stuff. Here's what we've got so far. Let's make a spell because we apply the spell to the user, and that's what will allow us to use conditions to turn that effect on and off. So let's do a spell. Auto potion spell. Just, I don't think it needs a name. Do a new effect. Now this should be an ability. So under type instead of spell, choose ability. And now over on effects, do new and choose our auto potion effect. Waiting for sirens to pass. Okay. We've got that. Now we actually want this to only apply conditionally. So what we'll do is in conditions, we'll do new, get global value, and then we'll choose our global. Auto potion last potion ID. So what we'll do is if the potion ID is greater than 0.0, or this is an integer, so but that works fine too. If the global value is greater than 0, then our effect will be active. If the global value is equal to 0, then the effect will not be active. So we'll actually be able to use the console to turn it off specifically, and even turn it on. Even turn it on and declare the potion. Sure, we'll do that. Hit OK, hit save, and now the two places, well, let's add that spell to the player. So we'll go to the auto potion quest, go to the quest aliases, the player ref, and here in alias spells do add, and we'll choose the auto potion spell. Hit OK, OK, and save. And now for you, you're going to want to edit this effect right here, like so, and just by using edit source. And is that the only thing? Yeah, I think so. You're just going to want to edit source on this. But I, as always, am going to switch over to Visual Studio Code. And here we are. We've got our potion player script and our potion effect script. In the player script, let's do something we've done before, which I had a typo in the last episode, which we fixed. Event on item added, which will give you an object, a form, which represents the item that was added. Integer, which is the count of them. Object reference, which is a specific item reference, which is sometimes there, sometimes not. And a direct object reference to the container and event. And what we want to do is say if the item is a potion, then we'll set this global variable. So let's get the global variable. We did that last time. Global variable property, and it's called auto potion last potion ID, I think. Auto, and hit Control S to save and compile. I'm going to do my compilation the way that I do it. And now we can go to that player script on the quest. Look at its properties, and now it has this global variable property, and I'll just autofill all, and it autofills it. So now that global variable is connected with the script. So save. And then what we'll do is if the last item added is a potion, then we'll put the ID of the potion in that like integer value, because items have form IDs which are integers, and that's an integer, so whatever. It's a good example of using a global variable. So let's do if item dot get type. I want get type. Item dot get type. And I think get type comes from SKSE. So as always, you probably have that automatically enabled, but as we've seen a number of times in the screencast series, I just do this to turn it on. And then I wait for this to not be red and for it to start completing stuff, which it usually takes between, I don't know, 1 and 10 seconds. And now I've got all kinds of stuff, and I can get the type. Returns the type code for this form object. So let's head on over to creationkit.com and see what those codes will be. I'm just going to search for get type. And probably here it is on form. It's under, here it is, get type, and here's a bunch of values. So let's look for potion. So apparently potion will be 46. So in my script, I'll actually make a int called potion type ID, and I'll set it equal to 46. It doesn't have to be here outside the event. It's just what I did. So if when you get the type of the item, it is equal to the potion type ID, then we'll do something. Otherwise, we'll do something. So if it is, then we'll set this auto potion last potion ID. We'll set its integer value to the form ID of the item, which is also an integer. So auto potion last potion set value int to item.get form ID. Cool. And that is an integer value. And otherwise, let's auto potion set to set value int 0. So we'll just 0 it out. So if the last thing you picked up was a potion, then we'll trigger this active effect, otherwise 0. So Control S, make sure it compiles, and I do my Control Shift B for Visual Studio Code. And we go over here to the effect script now, and now when the last script item is greater than 0, then at that moment in time, this will kick off. So what we'll do is event on effect start, actor, target, actor, caster, which aren't relevant to us here. We will do, what will we do? First of all, we want a reference to that global variable too. We need it. So copy, paste, build, creation kit, go to that effect, go to its script, and go to properties, and hit autofill all, and it connected that property, after which you should hit save. And you can keep editing your code in edit source. As always, I'm just over here. So it should only start when there's a potion last potion ID. Let's say the potion form ID, because that's what it's called, equals the it's a form ID. Auto potion last potion ID dot get value int. Now this should always be greater than 0. I guess there could be a moment in time where the script is the auto, the thing is still running, and maybe our other script changed the value to 0, but does that like quarter of a second, tenth of a second where it hasn't switched over. So we'll just say if the potion form ID is greater than 0, then what we'll do is we'll get a reference to the potion. So to get the type of potion, we have the ID. We don't have like a reference to the potion, so we'll say form potion. It's like potion base. We'll just say potion equals game.getForm, and you just give it the ID, potion form ID. I know we haven't done form IDs before. Just know. I guess potion already exists as a thing. Say potion ID, potion form ID, potion form. It's not the ID. Potion form. And What happens if we have a potion foo? What can you do on a potion? Oh, you can get its magical effects and stuff? That's cool. We could get this as a potion, but that's not necessary for us. What we're going to do is we're going to have the player equip it every couple seconds. So what we could really do is this. We haven't used on update yet. What we'll do is, as long as this effect is active, when the effect starts, we'll say register for single update. And we'll say 1 second. So 1 second. And what will happen then is once the effect is triggered, we could say like part of a second, like almost instantaneously. We'll call this on update event, and that's what happens. You can actually just call events as functions. So we'll call this on update thing. It'll have this code. So on update, we get the latest form identifier if it's there. If it's not 0, then we get a reference to whatever the potion currently is. And then what we'll do is we will get the player, actor player equals game.getPlayer. We probably already have this from the caster, but I'll just get the player. Player dot, I don't think we can equip an item unless they have it, but let's find out. Equip item, potion form. That's it. And then, because the form ID is still there, we're going to register for a single update. Three seconds. Here's what it looks like. Here's what happens. When the auto potion last potion ID is set, which it gets set whenever the last item was picked up. So if that's set to 0, to not 0, then the spell that we added to the player, its condition will kick in and it'll apply the effect. So when the effect applies, we'll kick off this event. What it'll do is it'll look to make sure that that form ID isn't 0 all of a sudden, and if it's greater than 0, we will actually use its ID to get a reference to the form, which represents the potion. Then we'll get the player, and then we might need to do player.add item potion form 1 to add. Apparently it defaults to 1. We might need to add the item to their inventory before they can equip it, but let's see if they can equip it first. And let's also go ahead and say I don't know, debug.notification, which we haven't used yet. That adds some text to the top left of the screen. Drinking potion, and then we'll add the name of the potion. So we'll go to potion form dot get name. Save, build, and then this just means that 3 seconds later, on update, we'll get called again, and then this will happen. And then if it's still a form ID, then 3 seconds later, this will get called again, and then it'll get called again. And this effect will get cleaned up whenever the effect stops being active, but I still think this is a nice way to do it, because you could do register for update and give it 3 seconds, and it'll keep running every 3 seconds. But register for single update is just a way to say, run on update in 3 seconds. Run it in 3 seconds. There's other ways you could do this, but I don't know. Let's see if it works. Siren! Siren! Bam, bam. It's a fire truck. We do need SKSA to get the get name. I'll drink my tea while this passes. Ooh, that's loud. Turn it down for you. Okay, they all passed. Glad I paused. It took a while. There are a bunch of quests. Let's go to Riverwood. So this is just a random example that just ties together a lot of the things that we've learned so far. So I don't know, let's see if it works. Let's drop a potion. Now if we go to active effects, then there's nothing. There's this resist frost because we're a Nord. We're going to drop a potion. Let's do a light feet. Sure, why not? And let's pick it up. Ooh, did we enable this mod? Swear to God, I never enable the mods. Seriously. I should have done that while the police siren was going, but I didn't know. Again, just look and see that the active effect is not there. We'll drop a potion. We could drop a bunch of them. Let's do the resist fire. Now it says drinking potion of resist fire. Resist fire was equipped. Drinking potion of resist fire. If we go over here in our active effects, we'll see two active effects. One, there's the resist fire, but then there's also the auto potion effect. And now that's going to keep running. Should keep running. There we go. Still drinking another potion. Let's I think we could quiet the equipped thing. Let's drop a shield. You can see it's still drinking, and now I'm going to pick up the shield and now go to active effects. And we still have that resist fire because we drank the potion, but it's no longer actively doing stuff. That's because the global variable was set to 0. Here's another way we could do it. Let's do, I don't know, Potion of the Warrior. Cool. We probably still have it in our inventory. Oh no, it adds it and it removes it. I'm just going to keep drinking them. There we go. And we could pick up a non-potion item, but let's use the console. Let's go to console and let's say set auto potion last potion ID to 0. Last potion ID. I added a space by accident. Now let's check our active magical effects. And that one is gone. Now if we wanted to, we could look for some cool potions in here. Here's some books, here's some alchemy. Potion of escape. Is there a potion of invisibility? Okay, there's brief invisibility, which is fine for us because we're going to keep casting it. So I haven't tried this before to set an integer to a hex value like this, but let me see if it works. 0, 0, 0, 3, E, E, 3, E. Now it might not work. Let's try and see if it'll allow us to put 0x in front of it. It would have been cool using expression set command. Let me make sure that it's not possible. How about we just do this? Come on. Hexadecimal is the 0003E B3E. Convert that to a decimal number. So now let's see if that works. I don't know, I've never tried this before. 256830. Potion of brief invisibility. Ta-da! Because it's hex number. Cool. Now we're running around and we're invisible. Let's brief invisibility, but we keep having it. But if we drop an item, like our shield again, and pick it up, you can automatically see that it stops. So that was 25 minutes. Not bad. Jeepers Creepers. What have we done so far in this series? I've got videos uploading on my other screen. SkyrimScripting.com playlist beginner basics. Cool, so we're way past learning to do our first script. We're way past learning how to cast spells. We didn't do that in this episode, nor did we use reload script. But we called get name to display the name of the potion in the top left in the debug notification, and that required SKSE. We attached a script to the player using Quest Alias to pick up when they picked up items. So we did that in a previous episode. We conditionally applied active magical effects, which we did 2 episodes ago, using a when they were sneaking. That's what we did. And then last episode we learned global variables, and then now we've kind of tied a ton of those things together. So sweet. Thank you, and as always, happy modding. Peace.